Host family invaded my personal space and imposed strict cleanliness standards, leaving me feeling violated and unsafe in the place I should call my own. I, 18F, am currently working as an au pair in Luxembourg. When I met this family online, they seemed fantastic, and when I first got here they really were. They wanted me to be part of the family, like to join them for dinner and lunch and to go out with them when they went out with the kids, which was really great. We had a small problem in March, which was the standard of tidiness I thought was acceptable in my room did not match their standard, so, after a conversation, I cleaned it up a lot and they said it was much better, and since then there have only been a few issues mentioned, mostly that I have a bad habit of leaving clean folded clothes on my bed for a few days before finally putting them away, and that generally I have my makeup items, pens and pencils, and papers on my desk, because I use them every day and it would not make sense to pack them all up in my cupboard multiple times a day. I went on a trip to Berlin over the weekend, and everything seemed fine. When I got home the family didn't say anything, just mentioned that we needed to have a chat that evening, which I assumed was because I forgot to empty the bin in my bathroom, which was a silly mistake, but not like a biohazard or anything. But when I entered my room, it was clear they had rearranged everything. All of my books, pens, pencils, makeup, skincare, everything I had on the desk or on the shelf had been moved and put in random locations, including at the bottom of my cupboard, in the bathroom, etc. I immediately started having a panic attack. It was very disturbing to me that they had clearly been waiting for me to leave for long enough that they could do this. I like having my personal space and I thought the way I was maintaining it was acceptable to them. They had never said otherwise. The host dad then came into my room while I was crying and hyperventilating and proceeded to lecture me about how my room has to be kept from now on. And I kept repeating I need to ask you to leave, I'm very emotional right now and need personal space to calm down, and he kept saying that it wasn't acceptable, that I was making excuses and that it was in the past and I need to get over it. Finally, he left, and I called my mom who helped me calm down. However, while I was on the phone to my mom, both the parents knocked on my door to have the conversation they wanted to have. With my mom listening, I told them that I am on the phone to my mom and just need a few minutes to finish the conversation. The host dad then tried to physically take my phone to hang up and I refused, and finally they let me finish the phone call. I then started recording a video so I could record what he said, because I knew I would probably not remember most of it because I was crying again. The conversation essentially consisted of him condescending to me, saying I was living like a hobo, saying my room was absolutely disgusting, and explaining that I have to live by his cleanliness standards. Cleanliness currently looks like a display room at IKEA. He even wants me to put my chargers and laptop in the cupboard when I'm not using them. He also tried to use the fact that, because I am not expected to be a maid, I work the maximum amount of hours week only, 25 hours, or less, and that I had my own room, and since my room's set up before the rest of the house, it's a new construction so it took a while to get everything ready, that I should be grateful, and I tried to say that just because they are obeying the law, in Luxembourg au pairs are only required to look after the children, nothing else, does not make it special, and he repeatedly shut me down and refused to let me talk. They said the bin in my room was disgusting because it had not been emptied for several weeks, it was not full, and had no food items or anything in it. They both were also upset because several of my socks have holes in the toes and they think it makes me seem sloppy and dirty. I just like those socks and they're still perfectly functional. Both of them refused to let me make excuses, aka explain or defend myself, so the conversation finished and I ended up having another panic attack in my room and I fell asleep on the floor without unpacking my suitcase or anything. This evening, after I had finished looking after the kids, I went up to my room to start unpacking and to go to the gym to get out some of my negative emotions in a healthy way. First, the host dad tried to open the door on me while I was changing, then he saw my clothes laid out on my bed and started going off at me for making a mess. He also showed me that he had moved all my medication, and several loose powders into the bathroom, where they would have been easily reached by the children, not to mention at risk of being damaged by the steam and heat in a bathroom. He lectured me about how this is how everyone in the world stores their cosmetics and how this is how I would do it from now on. Or he would go into my room as many times as it took to fix it. I just nodded and said yes to avoid further conflict, but when he was gone I took them back to my room and put them away in my cupboard. I then finished putting my stuff away and locked the door on my way out, which I have never felt the need to do before, but knowing that they're going into my room without me there makes me feel genuinely unsafe. I'm not hiding anything, but this is the one space that is meant to be mine. This isn't my house but that is meant to be my room. Surely I am allowed to have privacy? I went downstairs and did the dishes upon request, because I just didn't want to fight, and then left for the gym. 5 minutes later, I got a text, telling me to come back immediately to put my possessions back in the bathroom. I messaged him and said that I don't feel comfortable going back right now as I am incredibly emotional. I keep crying uncontrollably and shaking. I literally do not feel safe to go back right now. I told him that I'll be back late tonight and we can talk about it then or tomorrow. He has also been threatening me today that I am so close to being kicked out, so I'm scared this is that final straw. I know that when I go to talk to them, I will be completely condescended to, I will be completely ignored, and I'll probably end up crying. I'm scared to go back because of this, and because I don't have anywhere else to go here. I live 10,000 km plus away and they have all my stuff. I know they can still access my room, they have spare keys. I locked it more to make myself feel better. The SNJ is meant to look after us here, but I know from other people that they just want the problems people bring to them to go away, even if that means kicking someone out of the country. I'm currently searching for a new family, but I don't know if I can possibly find one in time. I don't know what else to do. This post is more of a rant than anything else, but any advice would be greatly appreciated. Update 1. So I decided to stay and comply, at least for a few days, until I can get money to leave. Last night I was given a list of things to do, some things reasonable, like keeping my room tidy, some things unreasonable, like mandatory daily showers. Showering daily fucks up my skin and hair really badly, so I shower every 2 to 3 days, but I keep myself clean and they have never ever had a complaint about my hygiene. This has never in my life been a problem. I tried to claim it as infantilizing. I tried to explain that I wanted to be treated like an adult, and they refused because they feel like, because my room was dirty, I don't respect them. I then said that this conversation clearly isn't going anywhere and I think we need to request mediation from the SNJ. The HD leaned across the table to me and got very quiet. The way he was talking and the way he was acting was really threatening, and I just felt so scared. The was sitting back in her seat, arms crossed, speaking in a slightly incredulous tone, so much less threatening. Verbatim, transcript from the recording I took. This is the list that you need to observe. The company, the organization that you have just mentioned has nothing to do with this house. They have nothing to do with you, they have nothing to do with us. They do not pay you, they are simply irrelevant. They have not even been here once. Okay? Everything we do, we have to agree together. You know they might do the same as to my friend. They say, oh you're bad, we're bad, you have 2 days to leave HD. They don't care. They don't care. This is not the problem. Okay? They are just employees, they want to spend as little time on it as possible. You can, but be prepared to leave. When I brought up other things, such as the fact the HD refused to leave my room when I asked him, he threatened to come back in as many times as necessary to fix it, and the fact I told him I was having a panic attack and he refused to leave were met with absolute denial. He refused to admit he said any of it. He tried to convince me that I was imagining it. He tried to tell me that I was being dramatic. I was planning on sticking it out, but I can't do this, I don't feel safe. I have to wait until my family wakes up so I can call them for help because I don't know where to go right now, but we have a family friend who lives nearby, so I'm praying she can help me. They want a response by tomorrow, but I just want to go home. I feel like I'm giving up. I had all these plans to travel and explore and enjoy Europe. This is my last chance before uni, and since I plan to be a teacher, probably my last chance for ages. Haha, low teacher salary joke. I feel like I always give up when things get too hard, but I just can't keep living like this. If the HD is home too, tomorrow, either I will call the police to help me, or hopefully I can call the family friend to help me until I can get flights. Edit, I'm meeting with the family friend on Thursday and taking my essential documents with me so it looks non-suspicious, and she should be able to house me for a while till I can collect all my stuff and leave. I've definitely accidentally left some stuff out of this post, but I'm using this as a space to get everything out while I'm feeling the emotions, so I can't convince myself it wasn't that bad later on. I can clarify stuff in the comments if anyone wants. Thank you everyone for the words of support, I really appreciate it. Update 2. It's happening tonight. I spent all of yesterday and today interacting with the family as little as possible, while also trying to give the impression nothing is wrong. I met with the family friend and she immediately offered to let me come with her. I'm going to pick up the kids as usual, look after them until 6 p.m. as usual, then she's going to arrive and take me home with her. I already have all my bags packed and the entire room cleaned so that I will give a quick getaway. I'm very scared, and shaky, but also very excited. I'm almost out. I'll update this post tonight, in about 6 to 7 hours, about the sequence of events and if there were any problems. As always, I will be recording the conversation I have when I try to leave to avoid any problems. My only concern is that I will be leaving while the kids are present, which I feel guilty about. I really love the kids and they love me, so I feel very guilty that I'm leaving them, but I can't stay here. My consolation is that the kids are 1.5 and 3.5, meaning they probably won't remember me, but I won't ever forget them. Update 3. I got out when I saw my friends had arrived. I took all my shit downstairs. The HD had just got home, and was blocking the door, double fuck. I told him my speech. I have sent an email to the SNJ and CCDU. I am leaving now, I am ending the contract immediately. I have friends outside to collect me, please move. He prevented me from moving. In the heat of the moment, I forgot to film it, which was stupid, but I also don't think I've ever been so scared. He used his condescending tone, repeatedly telling me you can leave in 10 minutes, let's go look at your room. I repeatedly told him, you can go look, go ahead, the door is unlocked, and he kept trying to get me to go with him. I showed him the photos I took of my spotless room, he still wanted me to go with him. I then called the woman who was waiting to collect me to tell her what was happening. Both HD and him tried to take my phone off me to talk to her and I kept refusing. Finally, the HD said he would go check my room if I waited with the him. The minute he walked away, I got my bags and opened the door to leave. Then the him told me that I had to be back for a meeting on Tuesday with the SNJ to terminate the contract. This is insane to me. They repeatedly told me they didn't want me to leave. They made the list for me, which seemed like what they thought a long-term solution would be. They were talking about taking me with them to Poland in November. but they want me back on Tuesday to terminate the contract. I don't know if I'll go, even if my dad is here. I really don't ever want to see them again. I'll have to check if it's mandatory I attend. Finally, I got all my stuff out. My friends helped me carry everything to my car. The whom filmed me driving away and the HD smiled and waved, which was really fucking creepy. I'm writing this update from the comfort of the friend's spare bedroom. I'm so fucking relieved I'm out. I feel like I can breathe again. Thank you so much everyone for the kind words and the support. It really helped me keep myself together rather than staying in a shitty environment. I think that you should put up your allegations up on social media. However, if you have overwhelming evidence at everything you said is true, then you have a complete defense against defamation. I have recordings and photos of almost everything, which is good. I've warned the group chat for Luxembourg au pairs, and I'll keep an eye out on Facebook for an ad from them just in case. Other than that, I am going to make a detailed report for the SNJ in the hopes they can't be hosts anymore. Hi, just thought I would check in on you and see how it went with in regards to SNJ and if you were required to go and see them. Are you back in Australia now? I am not required to go to a meeting, thank God, and I am currently in Paris with my dad enjoying a chocolat show in front of the Louvre.